Hi everyone, welcome back for day 2 of our article on honeymoon horror. Actually, it's our TOEIC article, I believe. And so today's title is Travel Ban for Brazil, the Cancelled Honeymoon.
Spoiler alert.
Exactly. So now we know what's going to happen to their honeymoon. It has been cancelled.
Yeah.
That's really too bad.
Well, before we get into today's article, let's talk about what happened yesterday.
Right, so we had Ming and Mei Mei.
Ming and Mei Mei, who just got married quite recently, and now they are looking for a honeymoon destination.
Yay.
So remember, a honeymoon is a vacation that a couple takes just after they've gotten married.
Yeah, that's right. So they want to go to Brazil. They want a holiday package deal to Brazil. Yeah.
And they found an agent who had a good deal for them, sold them the honeymoon, but then a few months later, COVID happened.
Uh-oh.
And now Ming and Mei Mei are not sure if their vacation can happen.
Yeah, we kind of left on a cliffhanger yesterday, which means we don't really know what happened after that. But it sounds like from our title, we kind of do know.
Yeah, and we're going to find out why today that holiday is cancelled.
Yeah.
So let's get into our article.
Reading. Travel ban for Brazil. The cancelled honeymoon. An official announcement from the government's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Due to the recent spread of COVID-19, Brazil is a red level country. This means that all travel to Brazil is highly discouraged, except for the following cases. You are a Brazilian citizen who is returning home from Taiwan. You are the spouse, child, or parent of a Brazilian citizen. You have employment or another important reason to enter Brazil. Travelers who wish to fly from Taiwan to Brazil must first make an application to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Applications will be dealt with on an individual basis. Your reason for traveling to Brazil must be important, or else your application may be denied. Individuals who travel to Brazil must provide the following: a negative COVID-19 test, a complete travel plan, a supply of face masks that will last your entire stay. In addition, travelers must follow quarantine rules in both Brazil and Taiwan.
So today's title is called Travel Ban for Brazil, the Cancelled Honeymoon. So already here in the title we have a word to talk about, and it's the word ban. Ban is used as a noun, although we can also use it as a verb. The verb to ban something, means to stop something from happening or to disallow it. So the noun for ban uses the same idea. A ban is a rule that is put in place to stop people from doing something. So the travel ban is a rule that means people cannot travel to Brazil. They have been banned from going there. Okay, so today's article is slightly different from yesterday's article. Yesterday we saw a conversation between Ming and Mei Mei and agent and then a phone call. But today's article is an official announcement from the government's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
Wow. That sounds fancy and serious.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yes. Well,
yes.
What is a ministry? Well, a ministry is just one part of the government, the group of people who run the country. So there might be a Ministry of Education. They make sure the schools and learning are going well. There's the Ministry of Transport, and they make sure that trains and buses run correctly. And in the article, we have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They are a group of people who deal with relationships with other countries and maybe migrants and foreigners who live in that country.
Yeah. So we have to deal with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs quite often so that we can stay here.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do. We have to go and take our passports and our ARCs and get them renewed every year.
Yeah.
It's very annoying. But thank you for letting us stay, Taiwan.
Yeah, thanks. But also in the US, we don't call them ministries. We don't have ministries. We have departments. So we have Department of Education and Department of Health, things like that. So, but it's the same job.
Yeah, I think the word ministry comes from the British style of government.
Yeah, it's different kinds of government, different names. But anyway, so the article goes on, due to the recent spread of COVID-19, Brazil is a red level country. Well, we all know what red means. It can mean good luck, but in this case it means danger. So due to is a phrase that we see here, due to the spread of COVID-19. And due to just means because of something, explaining that this is the reason for something else happening. So due to A, B is true. The reason, or A in this case, is the recent spread of COVID-19. This situation is responsible for the ministry's decision to make Brazil a red level country.
Uh-oh. I think we can assume that red level is probably the highest level.
Yeah, I think on the CDC in Taiwan's website, they have like anywhere from yellow to dark red. And I think Brazil is dark red.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, the article continues and it says, this means that all travel to Brazil is highly discouraged, except for the following cases. Okay, so we're about to see a list of something. But all travel to Brazil is highly discouraged. What does that mean? Well, discourage is used as a verb here, and it means to advise somebody not to do something. I think advice was a word that we had yesterday.
It'd be advice to not do the thing.
Yeah. So you give them reasons why that thing is a bad idea and try to stop them from doing it. You discourage them. So for example, Kat, I would discourage you from eating at the restaurant next door. The food is not good and I saw a rat running out the door yesterday.
I like rats, but not when they're eating my food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The opposite of discourage is encourage, which means to try and get somebody to do something instead of trying to stop them. And there was another phrase too, except for. Well, when we use the phrase except for, the things that come after are not included. They are exceptions. They are different. It's easier to explain this one using a few examples. So, for example, everybody here got a B on their test at school, except for you, Kat. You got an A.
Yay!
Yeah. So now using except for in this sentence, we can highlight Kat as the special thing that is different from the others, this time in a good way.
Hurrah!
It can also be used in a negative way though. For example, I like all vegetables except for cabbage and carrots. They taste disgusting.
Ew.
So I don't like cabbage and carrots. I do like all of the other vegetables.
I like all the vegetables except tomatoes.
Really?
I hate tomatoes.
Oh, I love the flavor.
I like ketchup, I like pizza sauce, and I like spaghetti sauce, but I don't like tomatoes themselves.
They have a strange texture to them.
Yeah, they're gross. Ugh. Anyway, so we're talking about the article here where you shouldn't go to Brazil unless you have a really good reason. And so they're going to tell us some of the reasons why it's okay to go to Brazil. So one is you are a Brazilian citizen who is returning home from Taiwan. That makes sense because citizens need to be able to go to their own countries.
Yes.
Citizen is a word here that we're going to learn right after the cut. All right, this word citizen is a noun, and just like I mentioned before, a citizen is a person who belongs to a country. For example, if you're born in the US, like I was, you're an American citizen. That means you have certain rights. You can vote, you have an American passport, you have freedom to live and work how you like in America. If you're a Taiwanese citizen, the same things are true for you in Taiwan. It's the highest form of rights in a country if you are a citizen there, or if you have citizenship. That's why if you're a Brazilian citizen, of course Brazil is going to let you come back because you're one of Brazil's people and that country claims you. We also have a noun for the state of being a citizen, that is citizenship. So if you have citizenship in Taiwan, that means you are a citizen of Taiwan. Now here's an example sentence for citizen. Since Alice is a citizen of both Taiwan and the US, she can live and vote in both countries.
Okay, so you can actually change your citizenship. It's
You can.
very difficult, but
Yeah.
if you live and work in a different country from the one that you were born in for a very, very long time, and the government there lets you, you can actually become a citizen of a different country.
Yeah, and
Although it
every country has different rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes like 5 years, sometimes it takes like 10 years to do that. So
Yeah,
very
and
long time.
sometimes it depends on giving up your other citizenship, which if we want to become citizens in Taiwan, we would have to give up our other citizenships, which kind of stinks.
Yeah, I would no longer be British.
I would no longer be American. Yeah, but anyway, we're talking about Brazilian citizenship. So Brazilian is a person or something from Brazil. It's also part of the name of their language. They don't speak Brazilian, but they speak Brazilian Portuguese because the language comes from Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we have another reason why it would be okay for you to go to Brazil at this time. And that is, you are the spouse, child, or parent of a Brazilian citizen. So citizens have all the power here, don't they?
They really do.
Yeah. Now, a spouse, if you're wondering, you have like children, parents, spouses are wives or husbands or other kind of married partners. So if you are a spouse, you could be somebody's wife, you could be somebody's husband. It's a formal term for somebody who's married to someone else, for any gender. Yeah.
Yeah, a spouse. I do not have a spouse.
I do not either.
Oh.
That's
well,
all right.
It's okay. The article continues and it says another reason would be you have employment or another important reason to enter Brazil. Okay, so if you have a job in Brazil, maybe you can go back, or another important reason. They kind of
like
leave it...
sick family members, maybe?
I think they leave it open so that they can view each case by case.
Yeah, exactly.
Each person.
Yeah.
So what is employment exactly? Well, employment is a noun here and it means the state of having work. What? That just means having a job.
Yay!
So if you have employment, that means you have a job and you go to work. The opposite of employment is unemployment, which means you do not have a job. We have employment, right, Kat?
Yes, we are employed.
Yes, we work for you.
Yeah, or for AMC.
AMC,
Yeah.
and we're very grateful for that.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. So an example sentence with employment could be, my mum is looking for employment because she lost her job last spring.
Ah, so right now she is unemployed.
Unemployed.
Got it. All right, so yeah, there are several good reasons why you could go to Brazil, but they're pretty specific and not many people are going to qualify.
Yeah.
And vacation is not one of them. So the article goes on, travelers who wish to fly from Taiwan to Brazil must first make an application to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So you can't just book a plane ticket and go, you have to apply. Now, an application is a noun that means a form to get permission or approval to do something, or to get a certain document or action made by the government. So you have to apply, that's the verb, or make applications for things like schools. Like if you want to go to school, you have to apply for the school. ID cards, you need to fill out a form if you want to get a card. Driver's licenses, job applications. Of course, you can't just walk into a place and say, give me a job. You need to fill out a form. And also, sometimes you have to apply to travel to places because they might not let you come or stay without that application. Even without COVID, there's some places like I would have to apply to travel to China.
Yes.
Because they won't let me in for more than 3 days without a visa.
Yeah, actually, I have to apply to go to the US as well.
Really?
Yeah, an online application. It's
Oh,
very
no
quick and
kidding.
easy, but it's there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now we know a little bit more about applications. Here's an example sentence. I just handed in my applications for a few different colleges. That means that we're trying to get into schools. I wonder which ones will accept me.
Good luck.
Yep.
Okay, well, the article continues here, and it says applications will be dealt with on an individual basis.
Yes.
Okay, so there's some quite formal language in this article. I guess that's because it's really important and it was written by the government.
Yes.
So let's talk about this word individual. Individual can be a noun or an adjective, though it's used as an adjective here. So when it's a noun, it just means one person. I am an individual. But when it's used as an adjective, it is used to emphasize the fact that the noun it is describing is a singular one thing. The noun in this example is basis, which we'll talk more about in a moment, but let's first have an example sentence using individual. So each individual snowflake is unique.
Oh.
There is no other snowflake in the world that looks like it.
Yeah.
So individual meaning each one.
Yeah, that's crazy considering there's millions of snowflakes in the world.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this word basis and the phrase in which it was used. Now, what's this basis all about? Well, it's actually part of a phrase. The article said applications will be dealt with on an individual basis. This sentence just means that each person asking to go to Brazil will have their situation and their application judged individually. That means one by one. Their application is different from everyone else's and will not be compared. But we can also use other adjectives in this phrase, on a something basis. So basis here is used to mean a way of doing something. So when we say on an individual basis, we are describing how the applications will be checked one by one. Here are some more examples with different words. Please don't smoke in the toilets. The toilets are checked on a regular basis. So here, on a regular basis, explains that the toilets are checked regularly, which means often or many times. Our staff work on a voluntary basis. Voluntary here means you do work for no money. So on a voluntary basis explains the way the staff are working. They are doing it for no money.
All right, so it sounds like each application has to be checked one by one.
Yes.
They're not going to do them quickly or, just normally. Yeah. All right, so what else did they say about this application process? That says, your reason for traveling to Brazil must be important, or else your application may be denied. Well, everybody has different ideas of what's important, but I think probably like illness or emergencies, something like that is important, but holidays are not really. No.
We can live without vacations.
Yeah, we can, although some people think they can't.
I'm kind of feeling that right now.
I know what you mean. All right, so we have this phrase, or else, like you have to have an important reason, or else something, something. And or else is a short way to say, if this doesn't happen, if you don't do this, then this thing won't happen. So you need an important reason, but if the reason isn't important, they won't let you go. The reason must be important, or else they won't let you go. So you might have also heard or else without anything after. When you hear that, that means it's a threat. Somebody's trying to put you in danger or scare you. Like if I say to Reese, give me your lunch money, or else. That means I'm going to hurt him. Now here we can see else is the application being denied. So, or else your application will be denied if you don't have an important reason. That's what it means. And what does it mean to deny something? Well, we're going to learn about that in just a minute. When we deny something, or when something is denied, this is a verb that means it's turned down, it's canceled, and you don't allow somebody's request when you deny a request or deny an application. So to be denied means your application didn't succeed and the government rejected it. They told you no. So deny can also mean other things too. When you deny something, you might say it's not true. So if you deny lying about something, you say, I didn't lie. Or if you deny being involved with a problem, you say, it's not my problem. We also have a noun, which is denial. If you're in denial, it means you don't recognize something as true. Now you get the idea that deny means to say no to something, either a request or a claim of truth. Here we're talking about denying an application, so we're denying a request. So an example sentence might be, Hess asked his boss for a raise in pay, but he was denied because they didn't think his performance at work was good enough. So he asked them to give him higher pay, and they said, no, your work is kind of bad, so we're not going to raise your pay. He was denied.
Okay, so the article continues and it says, individuals who travel to Brazil must provide the following.
Okay, what do we have to do?
We have to provide a negative COVID-19 test.
Okay, so you have to show you don't have COVID-19.
Yes, so you have to have gotten a test somewhere, I assume, in Taiwan before you leave. The next one, a complete travel plan.
Oh, that's a good idea. So they know where you're going.
Yes, it's important to keep track of where people are in this dangerous COVID era.
Yes, era.
And the final one, a supply of face masks that will last your entire stay.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Probably an entire box.
Right. You're going to need at least one per day, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, especially if you're traveling around on public transport. But we know all about face masks.
Yeah, of
because
course.
We are in Taiwan, and Taiwan has been so good and fast about providing us with face masks, and even the rest of the world, right?
Yeah, that's true. Taiwan is sending face masks to other places too. Hurrah.
Yes, score for Taiwan.
Yeah.
So what is a supply of face masks? Well, supply here is a noun, and a supply of something is a stock or amount of something that you have. Usually something useful or something that you might need. So for example, I have a supply of food and water in my house in case we go into lockdown.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Another example sentence could be, there is a supply of canned food in the kitchen that can last up to 3 months.
That's quite a long time.
Yeah, canned food is good because it doesn't go bad.
Exactly. Even for maybe 100 years, as long as there's no holes, you can still eat it.
Yep.
All right, now the article goes on. In addition, travelers must follow quarantine rules in both Brazil and Taiwan. Now, you guys probably know all about quarantine, but I'm going to explain it anyway. Quarantine means staying away from the public and away from other people until you know that you are free of disease. This doesn't mean you're sick necessarily, but if you could be bringing a serious sickness from overseas, that means you have to watch until the time for it to spread to other people passes, and then you're safe to go back out. So in Taiwan, quarantine is 2 weeks.
Yes, and I've got friends that have been traveling around the world for work. Coming back to Taiwan, they have to stay at home or in a special hotel for 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think I could do it. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to do it, but that's the reason I didn't leave Taiwan this summer, because I just couldn't face the quarantine.
I think I'd be okay, but I just didn't have any reason to go anywhere. Yeah.
There you go.
And also, quarantine is something that animals go through, even when there's no disease. Like if you're bringing an animal to another country, they have to be in quarantine for a certain amount of time so that you know you're not bringing any animal diseases into the country.
And an interesting fact about the word quarantine, it comes from the number 40. I think it comes from a long time ago in
That's
Italy.
right. Or
when,
Latin or something.
Yeah.
Quarenta.
Yeah, quara means 40 or something to do with 40, because they used to quarantine ships that came in, I think, to Italy.
For 40 days?
For 40 days.
Got it.
So that's where we get the word from.
That makes sense. All right, so now we know Ming and Mei Mei are not going on their vacation.
Sorry.
They don't have an important or necessary reason to go to Brazil.
Their lovely romantic honeymoon is not important enough for this.
Maybe they'll be able to go next year.
Yeah.
We'll see. Now, that's all the time we've got for our article, so that means right now it's time for us to go to our For You chat.
For You chat.
Okay, so our For You chat question for today is the following. Imagine this. You're on vacation and your flight home has been cancelled. What do you do? Who can help you?
So is there any other flights that are coming out of that airport?
No, I think we can imagine that you're just going to be stuck there for a while.
No. Well, in that case, then the country should probably have some special rules. I will go to my embassy, which is the representative of my country in that other country, and then I will ask them for help.
Yeah, and maybe
Probably they'll help me.
hopefully they will. Yeah. And maybe they can give you a hotel to stay in or something.
Yeah.
I would, of course, contact my family and
Yeah,
my
that's
friends first. I'm a student here in Taiwan as well, so I should probably let my university know that I won't be coming to school for a while.
Yeah.
That would be annoying.
Oh, it would be.
And
And there's lots of people in this situation right now.
Yeah, it's a strange time that we live in.
Yep.
I feel very fortunate to be in Taiwan.
Exactly.
So,
All right.
Can you guys imagine this scenario at home? If you're on vacation and your flight is cancelled, what would you do? Would you panic, or would you remain calm and work out a solution?
Yes. Remain calm, any case. All right. That's all the time we've got. So for You, I'm Kat.
I'm Reese.
And we'll see you next time.
Travel ban for Brazil. The canceled honeymoon. An official announcement from the government's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Due to the recent spread of COVID-19, Brazil is a red level country. This means that all travel to Brazil is highly discouraged, except for the following cases. You are a Brazilian citizen who is returning home from Taiwan. You are the spouse, child, or parent of a Brazilian citizen. You have employment or another important reason to enter Brazil. Travelers who wish to fly from Taiwan to Brazil must first make an application to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Applications will be dealt with on an individual basis. Your reason for traveling to Brazil must be important, or else your application may be denied. Individuals who travel to Brazil must provide the following: a negative COVID-19 test, a complete travel plan, a supply of face masks that will last your entire stay. In addition, travelers must follow quarantine rules in both Brazil and Taiwan.
Vocabulary Review.
Citizen. Gary moved to Canada, but he can't vote there because he's not a citizen yet. Employment. When Tanya finished university, she found employment at a bank. Application. The college receives thousands of applications from graduating high school students every year. Individual. Each student was given an individual project to work on by themselves at home. Deny. The boy was denied beer at the restaurant because he was only 17 years old. Supply. Larry made sure he had a supply of food to last 3 days for his camping trip.
智慧小补帖
Ban. Ministry. Discourage. Spouse. Quarantine.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net